all wrapped up here at the Thornbury Surfacing Stadium. We're joined by manager Mike Cook. Mike, a 1-1 draw at home to Braintree. Talk us through that one, buddy.
Yeah, disappointed really, because I thought we did enough to get the 3 points. I think all they were going to do was, towards the end, I think they were playing 7 or 8 up front and they were just bombing it forward, which was difficult for us to go and close that down. Ricky got injured with about 15 minutes to go, couldn't change it around for him. So it was like being against 10 men for them. So it was disappointing. We couldn't just quite hold on for that last. I think it was the 94th minute they scored. We got one against Slough early on in the season. It is, it's a gutter for the opposition team. So positives are it's a point and not a loss. That's the thing. Which hopefully that stops the rot at home and we can kick on from that. But more positives than that. It's a bit of a struggle to find them, to be honest.
Well, we'll have a good go at trying to find those positives, as we generally tend to do, Mike. Obviously, let's start with the early proceedings. The game started to look a little bit more like a Chippenham Town side under Mike Cook. The ball was starting to move a little bit easier in that first 45 minutes, and culminating with a very, very good goal from Kieran Parcell in at left back today. Obviously, with a few changes that needed to be made with Danny's injury, but diagonal ball across the field into Kieran Parcell, and didn't he take it well?
Yeah, he did. I mean, we just thought that Russie wasn't great today, so we made that change because we just needed that deeper midfield player to play the ball a little bit better. So that's why we made the change. And fortunate enough, he sort of come on and within sort of 25 seconds he was involved in it and put a great ball. I would have loved to have been down this side actually, just to see that go in from this angle in across the goal. It looked a great strike from where we were, but those sort of things, we were okay first half. I thought we opened up a little bit and played a bit more football. And it's like I said before, if you are going to lose but you're playing decent football, then you can have that. But to get a draw out of that today, when we had 3 points all the way with that today, so they're very disappointed in there.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Disappointment obviously running through the dressing room after what seems like a very sort of late slip, but as you mentioned, Joe, it happens in football, those 94th minute equalisers, and sometimes it's sad to be the paupers, but we've been on the receiving end of that today. We've been obviously the ones that have done that in the last sort of couple of months. We've picked up results in the same fashion. I don't want to dwell too much again on certain moments within the game, but it seemed to be a rather feisty affair today. I think we counted some 8 or 9 yellow cards, a lot of those going in there for what seemed like rather dodgy challenges or things that might not always necessarily get pulled up for a yellow. I mean, I know it's not really the right question to ask, but thoughts on his performance in the middle today? Do you think you got a fair shake?
Yeah, I'll answer your question because I think it's worth answering. I don't like to slaughter the referees, but I thought he was absolutely abysmal first half, and I very rarely say that. And that's why I was angry with him as I was walking in, because there's 2 teams playing out there and he just only seemed to give one way. And it's tough as it is, but to have the referee against you as well. But to be fair to him, I thought he was a bit better second half. But we've got to ignore things like that. We've got to be better for ourselves, and it's disappointing because we did enough to win the game. You just got to hold on for that last. I think we said to the liner, what was it? And he said, it's 15 seconds, something like that. So that's the thing that really gets you, to be honest.
Yeah, that hurts a little bit when you were at such a game of fine margins. But again, let's look for those positives today. In the squad today, we've seen a couple of lads that have coming back in. Harry Warwick's made a return from injury and quite a lively start today. He's come back on and really contributed well and looked at times like he was sort of getting back up to speed and it was coming well. Alex Bray was trotting around there at the start of the game, obviously not involved today, but back running after the injury, and that's always positive. And I suppose after last week's dinner about ringing changes and personnel that need to come in, you've brought one of your lads in from the academy in Ola, and he looks like he's made a very bright start.
Yeah, he's not a bad player, is he? He's done quite well. We're just trying to. He's only been with us for a month, and we're just trying to ease him into it a little bit because it's not so much what he does with the ball, it's just without the ball at times. So we've been working with him Tuesday and Thursdays for that, but he's going to be a good player, I think. So we're happy to chuck him on in those situations. We've still got a few square pegs in round holes with Harvey playing right back and Pars playing left back. So we're going to have to dip into the loan market this week as well. We tried to get a player on Friday, but it didn't come through. But we're hoping to finalise that on Monday with a little bit of luck. But it's that's another left back coming in for us. Pars is suspended next week as well, so we need to make sure that gets over the line, that one. And then obviously forwards, we're desperately looking for these forwards at the moment as well. Fair play to the chairman, he said go out and get them if we can do. But it's proving to be a lot more difficult than what we thought it was going to be honest.
Yeah, speaking of things that are going to prove to be quite difficult, it doesn't get any easier now. We're back on the road again next week, but of all the places you probably wouldn't want to take the team after a 94th minute equaliser at home, Dartford.
Yeah, that's certainly not easier. But we've been really good away from home, and I'm sorry for the home fans that are not quite seeing us at our best. And we've played some good football at times. We've been resilient, and we've deserved the draws and the away wins that we've got. So if we're going to have to bring in a couple of personnel anyway over the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks, but if we can get us passing a little bit more like you've seen in the first half, we're not bad to watch then, and it's just getting them believing that as well.
Yeah, definitely, and I suppose a curious set of results really from around the league today. Both our next opposition away on the road, Dartford and Maidstone, two teams that you'd expect to be perennial powerhouses, both gone down to defeats today. Dorking turned Dartford over 1-0, and Hungerford have beaten Maidstone 3-2 at Ballpit Lane as well. So, I suppose if anything, the positives that you can take from those is these teams are very much beatable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think the biggest thing when Peter Taylor came down here with Welland, he sort of consoled me after the game, but he was saying that our teams are just so inconsistent in this league, and I probably agree with that. For me, there's probably, because I haven't seen Dartford, but Ebbsfleet's the team to beat, I think, personally, and the way that they play the game as well. But apart from that, everybody else, on their day, they can roll you over. So if you can just go on a little bit of a run for 2 or 3 games as well, you get that confidence up. And like I said, we've got the confidence away from home, but it's just at home at the moment. He needed that one. That would have been great just to give us that today, but not to be. And we'll carry on.
As they say, football's football. Mike, we'll let you go and crack on with what you've got to get on with now. I'm sure that you've got a busy week ahead now. I'm assuming training Tuesday, Thursday, back in and working with the lads. Anything different that you guys are looking at for this week? Anything that you personally want to bring into that mix? I mean, out of, say, obviously in terms of changing bits and pieces and tweaking bits and pieces, what's going next for Mike Cook? What's in the head?
I think, I'm pleased with Callum coming on today as well. He gives us a little bit of energy in there. Ola as well was great. It's a big old pitch at Dartford as well, so for us to maybe change it up a little bit as well with the formation system play. And they do allow you to play as well, and so it should be a good game. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to be trying our best to bring the points home.
Excellent. Well, Mike, commiserations from all of us here for obviously the manner in which it happened today, but look at the bright spark. It's not a defeat. It is a point on the board at home, turning around that unfortunate, miserable slump of defeats that we've gone down to here. So it's a step in the right direction. Chippenham Town manager Mike Cook, well done, mate.
Great. Thanks, Simon.